Hey, collective. I have to talk a little bit more quickly than usual because, I don't know, I guess I've really pissed off the evil bastards who are abusing me today. They refuse to allow for my battery to charge any whatsoever, which is a pain in the ass. However, at the same time, it's also like a pat on the back for me because it lets me know that I am right on target and pissing the right people off, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword, if you will. But I just want to talk for a minute. I want to talk about how these satanic people, these people that perform the satanic ritual abuse, I want to talk about how this is such a calculated and methodical plan of action. They start this abuse against their victims when we are very, very, very small. And I haven't talked about this because it's painful. It's not the most pleasant thing to talk about, but it has been on my heart for a few days, and I keep being disobedient to God about it. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. But today I realized it's not about what I want. It's not about what I even feel comfortable with doing. If something needs to be told about my story and God is pushing me to do it, then that's what I need to do. So here we are. And I've talked before about how these people, they will inflict traumatic situations against us from the moment that we're born. And they do this in an attempt to mess us up, to mess with our minds. They really literally try to use abuse as a way to split our personalities. That's why it is that a lot of satanic ritual survivors, it's why a lot of them have multiple personalities. Or maybe even borderline personality disorder. All sorts of things like that. You're very lucky if you can go through this experience and not have something like that. But I just want to give an example of how they do this. I was a little girl. I was very young. And I was taking a shower. And I got done and I am drying myself off when all of a sudden my mom burst through the bathroom door and she's like, "Are you done? Are you done taking a shower?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she says, "Well, did you wash your hair?" And I was like, "Yeah." So she jerks my head down and she's like moving my hair all around and she was like, "You didn't wash your hair. This is disgusting. You don't even know how to wash your hair." And then she snapped. She snapped like she did from time to time. She grabbed the toilet brush in the bathroom and beat the holy hell out of me with this toilet brush while I was naked. And, as a kid, I didn't understand what I did wrong. I didn't at all. And as an adult, I fully understand what that was. She wanted me to feel that way. She wanted me to not know what I did wrong so that I would think there was just something fundamentally wrong with me that I deserved to be beaten naked with a toilet brush. It's all psychological warfare. And I was young enough that a few days after that happened, I was at my Nana's house taking a bath. And she came in to help me rinse my hair out. And she saw the marks all over my body that the bristles on the brush had left on me. And I mean, I'll never forget this. She gasped as she was looking at me, and she was like, "Rusty, what happened?" And I told her, and she said, "Well, if she ever does anything like this ever again, you let me know. I'm calling social services." And a few years ago, I don't even remember why, but I brought this up to my Nana. I said, "Do you remember that time whenever she beat me with that toilet brush and I had marks from my head to my feet?" And she was like, "No, I don't think I remember that." Knowing damn good and well that she did. There was no way you could forget that. I was a little kid who got beat with a toilet brush for absolutely no reason. And she did things like that from time to time. So yeah, that's how they do it.